Parkinson's disease is not for sissies. As we age, we have a lot of different things that we have to deal with. You know, your body composition changes. You have osteoarthritis, which is wear and tear of your joints. You have all things going on. But if you have Parkinson's, in addition to all those things, you get these things: cogwheel rigidity, bradykinesia, abnormality of gait, tremor, dyskinesia. We'll talk about in falls. Now, the reason I'm presenting these things is I'm going to teach you some techniques and strategies to combat these things. So it's necessary to go over them. So cogwheel rigidity, it's stiffness. And basically what it is, it's rigidity superimposed with these little tremors in your muscles. So that's why if you try to move, or somebody passively moves your arm, and you have this, you kind of get this ratchety kind of catch, release feel. It's very different than stiffness that you would see with somebody who has a stroke. That's called spasticity, and it's a very, very different feel. So cogwheel rigidity is specific to Parkinson's. Bradykinesia, it's just a fancy word for moving slow. And there's a couple of theories. One is difficulty with maximizing movement speed when driven by internal control. Now, basically what that says is we talked about the substantia nigra that makes dopamine. It's responsible for your automatic movements, which is the same thing as internal control, and then unable to generate adequate force. Gait abnormality. So in Parkinson's early onset, a lot of times the gait's not disrupted at all. And one of the first things that I see, and I'm a physical therapist, so I'm analyzing gait all the time. So if I'm in the mall, I'm watching people walk, going, okay, there's a little bit of CP, there's Parkinson's, The first thing you'll see, or very common to see, is lack of arm swing, and usually on one side. And it's different again that you would see with hemiplegia, because the hemiplegia, they would have a stroke, the whole arm and leg would be affected. But it's very typical just not to swing one arm. And then it can progress to what you call a stiff-legged gait, where you have the rigidity's coming in on one side, and people are having a hard time clearing swing on one side, so they have this kind of asymmetrical gait. Then as Parkinson's progresses, you'll see it's very common to see your posture change. We'll talk about that. But a lot of people will lead their walking and their gait with their head and their shoulders. So instead of having your head and shoulders aligned, you'll see a lot of this type of posture, and your head and your shoulders are leading your walking pattern. And then in really progressed Parkinson's, you get what they call the festination gait. And that gait is where you're forward, kind of have this type of posture. Because there's this postural instability where your balance is off, naturally people kind of drop their center of gravity. So you get kind of flexed here at your hip and your knees, you're forward, and there's a lot of difficulty initiating the gait. Okay, and then a gait basically is this kind of small kind of steps, and then people go faster and faster and faster. With Parkinson's, a lot of people with progressed Parkinson's, the issue is initiating gait, initiating movement, but also terminating movement. Because again, those are automatic functions that are built in, and the automatic part's not working fully. And so when you have this posture with your head and shoulders forward, and you're going, basically your center of gravity is in front of your base of support, your feet, and you're basically trying to catch up with it. Some patients that I've worked with through the years, one young woman, she was in her late 50s, a school teacher. She had this really bad festinating gait, and she would stop herself by running into things. That was her strategy. That's not what I teach. Okay. But she would find, she had a couch that would, she could just go to the couch, and she would hit it, and it would throw her center of gravity back, and then she could get control again, and that's how she was managing that at the time. Okay, postural instability. This emerges later on. It doesn't come right away. Unfortunately, this is the least responsive to the dopaminergic drugs. The drugs don't help it as much, and it doesn't really improve too much with DBS as well. So what it is, again, is again, I'm going to go back to the automatic because I'm going to teach you how to overcome that. But there's a automatic mechanism where we just adjust our balance. So if I'm just standing here, or if I take a couple of steps and there's a little bit of a slope on the sidewalk, all these adjustments are being made. I'm not thinking about them. They're all automatic. My midbrain is making these adjustments to keep my center of gravity over my base of support all the time. That mechanism is disrupted with Parkinson's. Also, what's disruptive is your protective reactions, your balance reactions. So that's why a lot of times we're going to talk about falls with Parkinson's. You kind of fall like a tree that's cut. There's just you have a certain window, but then once you go, your balance reactions aren't functional. And a lot of times the falls can be hard. Retropulsion, this is another fancy word, and basically just means the tendency to fall backwards. Now, not everybody will get this. Some people who get it terribly. I mean, that might be one of the main things that they're having troubles with. But it's just, again, it goes back to the postural instability. You just fall backwards. And people have it bad if they have this posture and they're reaching overhead, they'll just keep on going. And they'll just fall back on their ocole. That's butt, I guess, here. So strategies for retropulsion, I'll throw a couple in here, but we'll get a lot of strategies later, is, I just teach people if they have it, and the drugs don't really help that at all, is just be aware of it. So if you know it's going to happen, teach people to develop strategies to stay healthy. And one is just using one hand support if you're reaching, so you can hold on to something. I have a tendency when I go to people's houses is to kind of rearrange their house. I mean, I ask for their permission. We move everything down so they don't have to reach overhead. And then what works well is the Tai Chi stance. And if you think about it, a wide base of support is really stable. But this is a wide base of support. This is stable, but it's not stable forward and back. And so basically a Tai Chi pose is a wide base of support, but in this plane versus this plane. And then if you have this wide base of support, if you reach overhead, your center of gravity is still over your feet, and you don't fall. And so by simply just teaching people these strategies, they don't fall anymore, where they may have been falling, 4 or 5 times a week. Tremors. Tremors is probably one of the things most people, lay people who don't know anybody with Parkinson's, associates with Parkinson's, because you can see it. You can't see bradykinesia, you can't see, they can't see rigidity, but everybody can see tremors. And so that's what most people, the lay people, will associate with Parkinson's. And it happens in about 70% of the cases, so not everybody gets tremors. But it's common. It's common. And usually it'll start just with one part of the body, maybe a finger or a toe, and then eventually as the disease progresses, the tremors can spread, to both arms, legs, jaw, and so tremors. They're called resting tremors, so they're reduced with purposeful activity. So my friend Josh has pretty bad tremors, and if you're just talking to Josh, he's his hand will shake like this, and then he'll kind of see it, and he'll just say stop, and he actually can control it to a great degree. And then he'll start talking story again, and it keeps on going again. So it's called resting tremor. Again, it's kind of unique to Parkinson's. There's other type of tremors in a condition called essential tremors. It's different. So when you actually have purposeful movement, the tremor decreases. In other type of conditions, when you have purposeful movement, the tremor increases. So again, resting tremors is pretty unique to Parkinson's.